Hello, and in today's video we are doing an FPL review of Game Week 2 and an FPL preview for Game Week number 3. That's right people, we're wrapping it all up, we're summing everything up and we're taking you through my team and my rank and all that lovely stuff. So smash a like on it, do not forget to subscribe to FPL Yellow Army, and don't forget to check out FPL Juice on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok. They're on everywhere, and you can catch my Game Week 3 FPL Juicer video doing a preview of that Tottenham match on the Sunday, and also any other content that comes through, like the weekly roundups from Jay, the Game Week previews in the streams and the punditry and everything that FPL Juice has to offer. It's all really great fun, so do check it out. But in today's video, as I mentioned, we're reacting to how I got on in week 2, and we're also looking ahead to week 3 and seeing what do we do. Now, as I'm recording this video, the football world has gone bonkers. Number one, Ronaldo is back and returned to Manchester United. Now, what does this mean for FPL? Well, it means a multitude of things. Bruno Fernandes will probably be off penalties. It also means Greenwood will get less game time, but he means he can have more development and become a better player. Does it mean Paul Pogba becomes the Juventus kind of player that he used to be? Everything is put into question, and Manchester United, with a serious chance of the title now, with that signing, let's make a bit of a punt at it. Let's try and get Ronaldo in, but how much is he going to cost? Is he going to be 13 million? Is he going to be 11.5 like Romelu Lukaku is? I doubt it. So he's going to be very impossible to fit into your teams, and let's see what his price comes in at. But the other thing to say is the main transfer news of today, the GOAT, that is Musa Sissoko, has made his move to Watford. I'm absolutely buzzing about this. It's a great piece of business from Watford, and it just fills that Will Hughes void that we've had for a long time. And obviously Kuka coming in, Juraj Kuška, the Slovakian midfielder, was amazing versus Villa, and I still think he'll have an amazing season. But to have that backup where we were a little bit light in midfield is so reassuring, and it's great that we're getting this business done. So the only thing I'm still worried about is getting another centre-back and probably another striker, but I don't think we need it desperately, and I'm pretty happy with Watford's business over this transfer window. By the way, talking of which, be sure to keep your eyes peeled on the Roberto the Hornet YouTube channel, because I will be doing a video. Basically, I wanted to do one where I just kind of sum up the Premier League season so far with like an early season review, but I thought, nah, who wants to see that? Instead, I'll do a more targeted video, basically looking at the transfer window and saying who has won the transfer window. We'll be doing a tier list based on that. And then in September, we'll start doing some targets based on the previous month for September. And that will be on my Instagram at Roberto_the_pro. Do give that a check out and watch. But here we are, my FPL review and preview. So just to quickly recap, for those that missed it, this is how my team looked last time. So this was Game Week 1, and I got an amazing 107 points. I was absolutely loving life, and the average was 69, and highest points, congratulations, go aplenty to number 39 in the world right now, Amir Syed Mpu, because he triple captained Mo Salah. I mean, it would have been nice to triple captain Bruno with that 60-point haul in possible result, but it didn't happen, and fair enough, he was amazing. But my Game Week rank for Game Week 1 was the same as my Game Week rank my Game Week rank after Game Week 1, and that was 95,182. That is absolutely lovely. I mean, you really cannot complain with that. It's a great first week, and to get into the 100 club was a fantastic achievement. And I did do a main FPL review of Game Week 1 on my channel, so if you missed that one, do check it out. The only frustration now, I guess, was Ayling, but Antonio, man, what a beast. 13 points, absolutely love to see it. And Greenwood, that little differential really did pay off for me at the start. Moving on to Game Week 2 though, this is where we did kind of finish off last time, and I previewed my team. We finished on 71 points. Now, 71 points in any other Game Week 2 of a season is going to be like, wow, this guy knows what he's on about. It's going to be an amazing season. But there's just been this crazy FPL start to the season where everyone's scoring loads of big points. So because of that, my Game Week rank was only 1,150,377. But I still had an amazing Game Week. I mean, again, the average, not quite as high as Game Week 1, which was 69, but Game Week 2, 56, which was pretty strong. And well done as well to 146 points from the Australian that was John Team, Millie Beeston. Very well done to you. The Chelsea fan doing absolute bits with their bench boost. Lukaku on the bench, Shane Duffy on the bench, Mendy on the bench, and of course Antonio captain. I mean, I'm not sure many people were thinking about the Antonio captain for Game Week 2, but fair play if you did it, because he did it against Newcastle and then he did it and some against Leicester City. What an amazing round of results for West Ham. But the main thing is a very solid score nonetheless for us, and we're very happy with it. Now, to start off with, Dan Backman, we backed him against Brighton. We thought he'd do really well. And what did he do? He concedes 2 goals in the first 41 minutes. Not good at all. And then he didn't really make that many saves. I mean, he made the odd save, but not enough to get any additional save points, and not, of course, enough to get bonus points, because, yeah, Brighton were just much more solid defensively, if I can get the words out. And it does worry me, right? Of course, you want a goalkeeper to do well, but you also got to think there's bigger, more pressing issues to deal with your team. And, all right, the form has not been great. 4 goals conceded in the first 2 games. You don't like to see it, but it's just a set and forget. That's why we got this Backman guy in. He makes the save points, and he's a quality goalkeeper that will get loads of points when the fixtures really do amazingly, turn good, and that will be soon. So I'm very happy to just accept the blow, in a way, of Daniel Backman. He's still differential, and if he does eventually start ticking on with points, he could kind of, counteract what's been a bit of a sloppy start so far, but it's fine. Moving on from that Watford mess, we have the back 3, and all 3 of these were absolutely lovely. The main one, though, of course, is Tsimikas, because this guy was the absolute meme of FPL in the respect that everyone was getting him in, and it just looked an absolute no-brainer. For 4 million, a player we knew was going to start, with Robertson out injured for the first game and, of course, for the second game, but all we wanted was a clean sheet from him, and we got that against Norwich, but we got even more against Burnley, and what an assist. On that left-hand side, whipped it in perfectly for Diogo Jota to stoop with the header, and yeah, you just love to see that from Tsimikas. We didn't think it would necessarily be guaranteed to get attacking returns, but when he does, you're so happy with that. And an 11-point haul is just so nice. 2 bonus points is just absolutely lovely. So yeah, Tsimikas was a really good shout. I brought him in from Game Week 1 onwards, and I really didn't look back, and he just did very well the time he was in my team. So I'm absolutely loving that. And then we have Luke Shaw, who didn't have the best of games in the respect that Southampton scored quite early in that game, but it's fine because he got some bonuses. I don't know how. He must have got in attacking positions or whipped some crosses in, but we'll take the 2 bonuses, especially in a 1-1 draw. You don't see many of those these days, so it's almost like Luke Shaw just got an assist there with the 4 points, but we'll take that. We're very happy with that. Shaw obviously is not ideal because we'd have expected a bit more attacking return, and also Man United to be a bit more defensively solid, but with Varane, when he comes in, they will be, so it's not too much of a worry right now. Trent Alexander-Arnold, the premium defender we all love, he comes back again, and it's what we expect really from him, but it's great to see it get actually done for the first time this season. An attacking return, a fabulous assist, and that wonderful team goal from Liverpool. The touch from the chest from Harvey Elliott, and then the wonderful little clip ball around the defender from Trent, and a great finish from Mane, who just seemed always to score against Burnley. But anyway, Trent, what a player. 12 points, 3 bonuses, and just like Tsimikas, a lovely little assist. So I was really happy with my defence. Not so much with Backman, but you really cannot complain with that back 3. Now, midfield. This is where it kind of got a little bit up and down. The midfield for my Game Week 1 team was really consistent. This one, not so much. Greenwood basically was the man who was carrying it at the minute, and he was just so good. Now, I also thought that, Man United weren't that impressive against Southampton, but Mason Greenwood, he's just in a fantastic vein of form. Now, with the signing of Ronaldo, obviously, he will have limited minutes, but Ronaldo's not going to come in for the game for a while, and Greenwood's still going to get minutes as much as he can. I still think he'll be playing and starting for at least 2 game weeks. Cavani's still got injury problems. Martial is just so bad right now in terms of form. And Greenwood is just in a fantastic purple patch. So, yeah, he's a really good asset to own for a few fixtures. And then, of course, I'll rethink. But, don't need to think about that now. Greenwood is in a great vein of form. And he was a great little differential. I went for it at the start of the season. I saw that, not many people had him, despite Rashford being out with that shoulder injury. And yeah, he's just done really well. Goals in both of the first 2 games. I really am so happy with him. And 3 bonuses just to top it off as well. It was a nice little finish after the pullback from Pogba. He kind of just slipped it through the gap through McCarthy's legs. And yeah, he just looks a player right on the top of his game. He's got this really good confidence. So hopefully it'll be a good breakout season for him. And then the rest of the midfield, they just really weren't as good as Mason. It was really funny because I expected pretty much this whole midfield to do what they did week 1. Just thought, yeah, go again, this midfield. This is pretty solid. But turns out the youngest of them all is actually the best of them all. So, yeah, the more regular and more experienced players letting the side down. Mohamed Salah, I mean, how he didn't score in that Burnley game, I will never know. To be honest, I had a few players in my mini leagues and rivals that were captaining him, and I was just like, please. But I had this feeling about Salah. He always seems to just fall short against Burnley. I looked at his individual record and he was quite wasteful. And he just was so unlucky. He tried his best. He scored. It was offside by a margin. It was one of those days for Salah. And it is a kind of a little bit of a kick in the teeth in the respect that he got a clean sheet point, whereas Bruno Fernandes didn't. But you're talking very small margins. Despite the fact Fernandes got booked, Salah only 3 points. You're not going to be happy with that. Even if you've got more than, captaining Fernandes. So, yeah, it was a frustrating one for Salah. He really could have scored, but we know he's a player who never leaves our team because he just was unlucky on that day, and he's got so much threat to kind of cause problems for the other teams he plays. Bruno Fernandes, though, what a legend. But last week was kind of exactly what you want from him. This week was not so much. He was playing quite wide. And actually, when he got tackled for that goal that Southampton scored, he was almost like playing on the right wing. It was a bit confusing, really. But anyway, he was unhappy because he thought he was fouled in the build-up to that own goal from Fred. But at the end of the day, didn't really show much attacking threat, only at the end, really, with that crossed-in ball from Wan-Bissaka. A good header straight into the ground, but yeah, just couldn't quite have that finishing product. And I just backed him. He usually does really well against Southampton. And it didn't happen this time, but it is what it is. Most people captain Fernandes, and if not, then they captain Salah. So it's not like we've missed out at all, really. So Bruno Fernandes, yeah, really a frustrating game. As I said with Salah, not to get the clean sheet point, but also just no attacking return whatsoever. And yeah, yellow card was a bit of a frustrating one. So moving on very swiftly after that captaincy calamity, we also had a bit of a calamity in the respect that we had a transfer in our head. We were like, tell you what, Game Week 2, Rafinha comes in for Everton, because we were like, yeah, the fixture against Man United wasn't really what we were feeling, but the home fans coming back to Ellen Road, Everton are quite leaky, it looked quite good. And then we just thought with that Sarr first game, we were like, nah, this guy is just too good. He's just so attacking. He gets down the byline. He's so good with the link up with Dennis. And why sell him? When he's on form, he's got confidence, and at the end of the day, I thought that, against Brighton, he'd caused damage, and he really should have. That was a fixture that you should have targeted, that you were, fair enough to target, and just say, Sarr, he's a decent option, a decent differential for that fixture. And, he still is a differential, really. 4.9% owned is still good, but I guess because of the Brighton game, a lot of people have, either hopped off him or not bought him at all. But just watch this space with Sarr, because, certainly with, later on in the season, we'll see how it goes if we can get a winning run together. But when the fixtures are consistent, and when Watford are consistent enough, I think Sarr will just be a great little asset to own. But he was very isolated against Brighton, and it was a bit worrying how he was just so far from Dennis. We've got to get the ball out to Dennis more, we've got to get the ball out to Sarr more. But in that Brighton game, Dennis was kind of playing really deep, and Sarr was all on his own and just didn't have a finishing touch. It was quite wasteful with that shot he blazed over. So not a good one from Ismaila Sarr. But we move on. The forward line was pretty solid though, once again. Ivan Toney, okay, it's a bit of a differential that's not paid off, but I'm not going to cry about it. At the end of the day, Toney has had little glimmers of good things in the game so far. Against Arsenal, I thought it was robbed them an assist. And he's kind of that player, a bit like Rafinha at times last season, where he looks really good, but he doesn't actually equate to FPL points. And he did drag one just wide in that Palace game. There was a few times where I thought, oh, hello, he's going to get something. And he had that header where he just completely messed it up and it came off his shoulder. So Toney, yeah, is a bit of a frustrating one. But it's a wait and see as well, because Brentford are still adapting. They've had a solid start with 2 successive shutouts. But it's just, are they going to be an attacking force? And is Toney going to be able to adapt to the Premier League? That is yet to be seen. But at the end of the day, we're kind of still working out with him. And there's not many other options really for that price. But Danny Ings, 8 points. You love to see it. What a goal, can I just say. That guy, he's got talent in his boots. And that was a absolutely genius finish. Lovely knock on from the long throw. Mings with the good header. And then Ings just, boom. Absolutely wonderful overhead kick. So, yeah, that is just what he's all about. He's a great goal scorer, and it's 2 successive hauls now for him. So I'm very happy with him in my team. I know the Villa fixtures are going to start turning, and a lot of people are like, oh, get DCL in. But DCL is actually cheaper, and, I should say DCL is more expensive. And also, DCL, all right, he got a penalty against Leeds, and he got a close range one against a leaky Southampton. But let's see if Ings can actually still score in the games coming up that are harder, because he's that good. So let's just wait and kind of see before we start pouncing on stuff. But Ings is certainly in a very good run of form. And to see those 2 bonus points was very, very nice. And finally, Michail Antonio. What an absolute beast. He is just unbelievably on top of his game right now. And that Leicester game, I was hoping, come on, let's just see it like a 10-point haul. But no, he comes along with a 16-point haul and 2 goals and an assist. He gets the same kind of amounts of goal contributions as the Newcastle game, but instead of 2 assists and a goal, it's 2 goals and an assist. And, they were so good, those goals. The first one, can I just say, is just a really good team goal, all in all. But then the second one, oh my days, that is just fantastic. The way he just gets the ball from Soufal and then flicks it over the defender and then toes it in. That is just genius. So he's been a great asset this season, and he's just looking like no sign of stopping. And West Ham, they do probably need another striker, but with Antonio just ripping it up, they're probably a bit distracted, and they just can't be bothered to get another striker, because this guy is just, he's the bee's knees. He really is. He's just done so well, and I was so happy. So yeah, it was an amazing week, really. 3 bonus points. It was a very solid week, 71 points, and I'm not complaining at all. The bench was a pretty standard stuff, really. I wasn't regretting about too much of it, unlike the Game Week 1 Ayling benching. But Foster obviously didn't play because Backman was starting. Ayling as well, 1 point. I did think that Everton game was going to be high scoring, so I was glad I benched Luke Ayling. Brownhill as well, he is getting minutes, but it's just whether he's a good 4.5. I don't think you have to worry about it too much. And then Ryan Bertrand, we knew he wasn't going to play the West Ham game, and we really weren't going to get him for that West Ham game. We'd got him for a long-term plan for that match-up in match week 3. He had COVID anyway, so he was just not in the squad anyway. So it is a very decent score for Game Week 2, and I'm pretty happy with it. Just to wrap up, for Game Week 2, I'm just got here, as you can see, a little review of everything, basically. So this is my current rank, 208,942. So I'm absolutely loving life. Considering I was on a very good green arrow of 95,000, it is a red arrow, of course, because you're often dropping Game Week 2, but to sustain it by staying inside that top 210k, and yeah, at the end of the day, I'm actually on the same rank as the world famous FPL YouTuber Let's Talk FPL, so I'll take it. Now, on a serious note, that is a very good rank, and I'm very, very happy. The thing I've said about captaincies across the season is just a little like thing. It could be done, but it's not that important. And also with Ronaldo coming in, you've got to put him in that category. As we mentioned before, our rank for this goal for this season is 30k, and we're usually going to play a 3-4-3. Before we had that kind of game week where we didn't make any transfers in game week 2 and we banked the transfer, we did have a value of around 99.9 million, but I think it's gone up now, so that's good. Last season rank, we said it was 267k, so we just need to build on that. But right now, we've already beat it, just saying. The Euros, by the way, if you didn't see that, I did get a 274k rank, so we've been pretty consistent in FPL recently. Last season's points, 2326, 178, so, you know, not long to go, eh? But no, 71 points. I'm very, very happy with that. And 178 points to start the season for 2 game weeks is very, very good. But yeah, let's move on then, shall we, to talk about a little bit of game week 1, people. No, I'm joking. Game week number 3. This is my preview, and this is what I'm showing. So, here it is. The team is locked in. The transfers have been made, and it's a -4. Now, I don't like to say it, but it is, because there's some plans we got. We've got some big plans coming, and we've decided to make these moves because it just makes sense. You know, sometimes it just makes sense. Don't think about it too much and take the hits. But no, always I will be looking to try and not take a hit. But this week, it just made sense, all right? So let's talk about my lineup then for game week 3. Backman to start off with. This guy is a worry, especially against Tottenham. But you got to think about after Tottenham, after the international break, you got Norwich, Newcastle and Wolves. Come on. If Backman can't do something there, then we might have to reevaluate, number 1, our team name, and number 2, my goalkeeper. But like I said, you don't want to, you know, have your problems where you're kind of focusing on your goalie and always switching it out. It just wastes transfers, so don't do it. Backman, let's hope he can really do well, and we know he's going to play against Tottenham because Ben Foster, as we saw just before, is injured. But it's a small injury, don't worry. It's a small hamstring. I'm sure he'll be back soon, but it's just that Backman, yeah, hopefully will really step up. And he played really well at Foster against Palace, so there's always that great thing with my team. If Foster is fit and ready to go, he's ready to come in if Backman either isn't in form or, you know, got COVID or something like that. But Backman against Tottenham, yeah, it's a scary thing. Son and Kane and Ali and Mora and Bergwijn, trying to keep this guy from conceding is going to be a difficult one, but I've just got to hope that he can do what he can in that goal and he can spread his hands wide and, you know, make some penalty saves if we're lucky. He can do it, but no, on a serious note, we just got to hope that Watford get something from the game, and what we'll probably do is soak up pressure, we'll play defensive, we'll try and play on the break, and that will mean that, you know, Spurs have a lot of the ball, and hence they'll shoot lots of times, and hopefully that's some save points and some amazing bonus points if Watford manage to win, but I just don't see it. Anyway, moving on to more pressing matters. The back of the defence is a back 4, my friends. It is a very juicy little back 4. To start off with, Luke Ayling is there on your right. Now, we had him from Game Week 1 onwards because the fixtures rotate quite nicely with Leeds and Leicester. And we thought about that fixture against Burnley and thought, yeah, I want a Leeds defender for that. A lot of people jumping on Meslier, fair enough. He was really good last season. But, like I said, I'm not going to worry too much about goalkeepers, but I do want some kind of a player to get the clean sheet points. And Ayling, all right, he's not got much attacking potential. We saw the goal he scored up at Old Trafford. That was a worldie, but it was a 1 in a million, wasn't it? If he can do it again, then fair play. And I'm not saying he's going to turn into the next Dallas. That's probably very unlikely because Dallas plays midfield and Ayling's still stuck at right back. And yeah, like I said, it's 1 in a million. But still got a good fixture for a clean sheet there, and got to hope that Burnley just have an off day. They have been struggling for goals and have only scored 1 in their first 2, so you never know. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold has actually got a really good record against Chelsea, scoring goals against them from free kicks, both home and away, and also Liverpool clean sheets are coming in. They're racking them up because, you know, that defence has got a lot of strength right now. With Konate, Matip, they've got options. Joe Gomez coming back soon. So Trent is a great option for FPL because he still has that attacking threat, but also their clean sheet potential is increased. Now, of course, Chelsea is a very tough test. Chelsea are one of the title contenders, and Romelu Lukaku is going to be a very good player to take away that clean sheet from Trent. But like we know with Trent, he's got that attacking potential, so it's fine. We don't worry too much about it. And you kind of think with defenders, it's a difficult thing. Do you play them for the fixture to get clean sheets, or do you play them for the attacking returns? And the premium defenders you start every week, regardless of who they're playing. And actually, against Chelsea, yeah, it probably will be a goal fest, but it equally could be a 0-0 because we see so many top 6 games end that way where they've kind of got two strong defences to cancel each other out. And actually, with that Arsenal-Chelsea game, you know that Arsenal have basically got a mid-table defence at this point. But no, on a serious note, Trent is a great player and I just back him for this game. He started the season so well and hopefully he can build on that assist versus Burnley. Now, Bertrand is up next and Bertrand has got a great fixture. We said this. We brought him in for game week number 1 and we thought, yeah, just bench him because Norwich at the Carrow Road Stadium is a great nailed-on clean sheet. It's got to be done. Now, Bertrand is going to probably play. He's back in time from his time out with COVID. He's probably now fully refreshed. Now he's got over it and you know, he's got the vaccine, hopefully, or I don't know, but he's got immunity. I'm just guessing at this point. But the point is, it's the fixture. It's all about the fixture. And he's got some attacking potential as well. It's a nice little differential, to be fair. Not many people have got him at 1% owned. Obviously, the thing about his COVID situation will have factored into that ownership. But, you know, 4.9 million. All right, he dropped in price. We'll take that on the chin. But it's still, the fixture and the attacking potential isn't too bad. And we know that it's probably likely that he'll slot in there. But if he doesn't, for some reason, because, you know, it could still be a 50-50 call, you've got some bench options to come straight in. No problemo. Now, moving on. Luke Shaw. What a fixture. Wolves. Now, you say what a fixture. All right, Man United didn't look that great last time. But Wolves have been pretty, you know, wasteful, I'd say, so far this season. They've had a lot of possession in games. But, you know, Traore, Jimenez is still trying to click. And they haven't quite done it yet. So, I think that's got a good potential of a clean sheet. But let's hope for some attacking returns this time from Luke Shaw. If he takes corners, if he takes free kicks, then, you know, there's your money. But I don't know. We'll see with Luke Shaw. I think he's just a hold. Because the Man United fixtures are so good for so long, it would be silly to sell him. And obviously, you can switch to Wan-Bissaka, but it just seems a bit of a backwards and sideways move to do that. So Shaw, yeah, all right, we want a bit more attacking potential. We don't want the yellow cards. But with the Wolves fixture, you've got to back him for some decent points. Now, in the midfield, we've got a 4 absolute quadruple threat. And this, my friends, is what we love. Grealish, yes. You see it now. You see that new signing for my FPL team. New signing for Man City, £100 million. I don't have £100 million, unfortunately, to spend on one player this game week, but he is an absolutely class player. Now, say what you like, the Pep Roulette is lethal. We know this. We know this, of course. We always try to predict the Pep Roulette, but let's not try and predict it. Let's just go for it, okay? No, look, Jack Grealish was brought in to play minutes, and he's looked great. You know, he's just going to go off and one. After that goal he scored against Norwich, be it lucky, that goal gives him confidence. And now he can really get out of this Arsenal team who have been so poor defensively. And they're still yet to score. So, you know, additional clean sheet point. You love to see it, hopefully. But, no, the point is Grealish, he's a big money man. He's got pressure on him, but he's that kind of player that can rise to the pressure. He's got twinkle feet. He's got a great reputation. And he's got great footy techers. So he's in the team. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, he's not going to be a massively hauling player because, you know, all City players spread around their goals. But I'm just hoping that he's a nice little differential because most people kind of didn't go on him early on because they were like, oh, he's not going to play. He's going to get benched. But actually, he's got a big part in this playing Man City team. And why not? He's gone in for 8 million. And it's a good little price bracket because if I want to go down to another Jota or go up to a Havertz at 8.5, then I can, with a little bit of money in the bank. So, yeah, let's go for it. Jack Grealish is in, and he has been transferred in for the midfielder that goes by the name of Ismaila Sarr. Now, you say, oh, what are you doing? You're a Watford fan. You're not loyal. But, mate, I'm just going to back it, all right? I'm going to say a 0-0 draw, or if not, we lose the game. And I just don't see Ismaila Sarr getting anything against Spurs. Now, fair enough, the fixtures are great for Watford after Spurs, but I'm just more confident in Man City because, you know, they're going to click. They're going to start to click now. They're going to start to get some momentum. And I just don't know when Watford's momentum is ever going to go. Now, obviously, one game is a shame. But Watford can get back to form. Of course they can. then we can downgrade, and it's fine because we've got that nice price bracket to be at. So Grealish is a nice premium option, and he's in for Ismail Assar, who has a bit of a difficult fixture against the North London equivalent of Spurs. Now Salah, Chelsea at home. Tough fixture on paper, but Salah can score against anyone. And as we saw against Burnley, he is so involved in chances, and he actually has been doing quite well against his former team when he's played against them. So yeah, you could captain him, but nah, I'm not feeling it. There's better captaincy options. And as you can see there, next to him, Bruno Fernandes. Boom, boom, boom. All right, it's a interesting fixture against Wolves. Wolves will kind of keep it tight, as we've seen. They've lost 1-0 in both games. But Bruno is the man. And, you know, Portuguese club, Wolves, they're not really Portuguese, but they have a lot of Portuguese foundations. And Fernandes is the Portuguese guy. He's the man to cause those Wolves defenders problems, and he still takes pens whilst Ronaldo is not playing. And also Fernandes, man, he's just so good. Like, you back him in the away fixtures, you back him against the bad teams, you got to back him, and I've at least given him vice captaincy. So you're thinking Salah, Fernandes, Grealish, you still have not got your captain. I wonder who that's going to be. Well, you'll find out soon enough. But Greenwood, also the same fixture, like I said, great run of form. Let's hope it carries on. It's a really nice time to own him. And as I said, with Cavani still having doubts, with Rashford still out for a few months or even a few weeks, then Greenwood is going to play. So it just looks nice. It looks really decent. So we're going for it. The Manchester United triple up, once again, is still in my team. But the front two, yes, a 4-4-2 is a bit of a rogue move, but it's what works this game week. So the front two, Danny Ings and Antonio. They have been so solid, both of them so far, and I don't see any reason to change from that front two. Danny Ings against Brentford, you got to back him. Brentford obviously have been quite defensively solid, but Villa at home, they're going to go for it, and Danny Ings is in great form. Antonio on the same thing, the form is unbelievable, and he just got to back him against Palace. Palace have been quite leaky. They'll take a while to get kind of into the swing of things under Vieira, and yeah, just back Antonio. So he's my captain. That's the way I'm going, because why would you not back a player with form? I know you can say, oh, go with a Tottenham player, but I'm not going to do that against my Watford team. And also, you can say, go with Bruno, but I just feel like Antonio is too good to not captain right now. And fair enough, if he goes in blanks, then we'll think, okay, go back to the premiums, go back to the more reliable ones. But this looks pretty reliable, given off his form, given off the fixture as well. Palace aren't that good. So that is my fixtures and team lined up for Game Week 3. I hope you have enjoyed. In terms of my bench, though, we'll just quickly run through. Foster, I know he's got an injury, but he'll be back soon. Don't sell him. Do not sell him, please, people. Do not sell him, because, you know, got to keep his price point. Keep his price point. He'll be fine. Relax. Livramento, though. And I know on FPL it says unknown return date, but trust me, it's a small minor problem, all right? Just don't sell him. Livramento, you see there, a new signing. Yes, that is one of my second transfers. Now, Livramento has come in because Tsimikas, mate, you just had to go. I'm sorry. You did well. I got you in your good purple patch, but now you got to go, because Robertson, who's on the bench against Burnley, he'll be back in for that game against Chelsea. And would I even want a Liverpool defender other than Trent for that Chelsea game? Nah, I wouldn't. So Livramento comes in as a long-term buy, as a 4 million starter. He looks a great option, doesn't he? And a good fixture against Newcastle. I thought about starting him, but just look at that back four. You don't want to drop any of them, and you don't want to drop any of the absolutely electric attackers. So we're going to bench him. I hope it doesn't backfire, but I think that Livramento's not got much attacking threat, and, you know, still Callum Wilson and St Maximan to kind of go against that Southampton team. So clean sheet's not guaranteed, but he's a nice little enabler, Livramento, for some other players in there. Now, Dennis, he's the biggest enabler in my team, and he's my third transfer, so it is a -4 hit, because we saved up the 2 free transfers. We've made the third one, and Dennis, man, he's just got to come in, because I said about Sarr, all right, fair enough, he could still do well, but I like the Watford fixtures, and I'm not going to have no Watford assets for that kind of Game Week 4 onwards. So we don't play him against Spurs, of course, because that would be a tough one. But what we do is have him ready, have him in reserve, and Dennis just looks so impressive right now. I know that Brighton wasn't a great performance, but, you know, that was just an off day, I think. And I think Dennis, long term, he just looks really pacey. He's got great work rate, and he's got a point to prove. You know, he's a man that's not got a lot of, praise. He's got a lot of stick for his attitude and his disciplinary issues, but actually he's changed and he's a changed man at Watford. He's looking really good, and I think he's a good little enabler at 5.1 million. So why not? Emmanuel Denise, look at those fixtures. Wolves, Norwich, Newcastle. And that looks pretty nice. And finally, Brownhill. Of course, he's a bench player, but he's just going to come on last because we think that Leeds game is going to be a clean sheet. And yeah, 4.5 million. Nothing else to say other than that. So all in all, 178 overall points. And there you can see my overall rank is looking pretty saucy. Now, in terms of my leagues, obviously it was a red arrow, which is not ideal. But don't worry about it. Relax, because we're back for Game Week 3. We'll have a little bit of vengeance. And as you can see there, 100.8 million in the kitty. So, let me just quickly end by telling you my draft team for Game Week 3. All 5 teams. And when I say 5, I mean that because I've been put in 5 leagues, alright? Alright, I've just been invited. I'm too popular. What can I say? So, draft, you obviously have different teams. You can only choose one player from the whole league to be your player. So, number 1 team, absolutely class team name, can I just say. And the game week number 2 wasn't ideal, was it? But it was good enough, 56 points. Ben Rama, Tielemans doing bits for me. And also, you love to see that from Rafinha and Diaz. That's pretty solid. But looking at my lineup, you basically can't make any transfers in this league. That was the rule we kind of decided. And Sanchez is a bit of a problem right now in terms of he looks a better goalkeeper than Backman. But you know, at least I've got him in draft. I can get his points that way. But no, the point is, you got to back him. I think he's pretty decent right now. Diaz as well. You back City to keep a clean sheet against anyone. And Diaz got some assists in the last game, so that's great to see. Wan-Bissaka as well, decent stuff. Cresswell is just so good. So much attacking threat. Ben Rama as well. Tielemans, Havertz, they're all good options. And Ken Sema's a bit of a wild card, but as I said, I can't make any transactions. I made this team when I did the live draft selection, and when I did the draft, what's it called? Rota. I don't know what you call it, but you select your first team when the season starts. And basically, we said we wouldn't make any transfers. So that's my team. It's been the same throughout, and it's been pretty solid. You know, to have got Ben Rama from the off, to have got Richarlison for Game Week 1, and you know Tielemans last game week, I've made some good calls. But let's hope this team can keep on firing. And then on the bench there, you got Doherty and Mendy. So yeah, not bad at all. But in terms of our league position, we're second. Okay, it's a little bit of a gap right now. It's not ideal stuff to see that kind of gap, 32 points, but it's fine. We'll make it up. Now, second league in the FPL draft game, and this is pretty solid stuff because we are top. We are top of Draft Wars. That's what you love to see. Very good game week because we had a little bit of Calvert-Lewin and Lukaku on his debut. We called it. Mahrez as well, little punt there, and it paid off luckily. So we should have played Melio over Pickford, I suppose, but it is what it is. Let's move on. We're starting Melio over Pickford this time, though. Against Burnley, it's got to be done. Shane Duffy, he's going to get some goals, surely. Dele Alli, I hope he doesn't, but, you know, he's back in confidence. And also, we've got a nice little forward line of DCL, Vardy, and Romelu. I mean, that's pretty strong, isn't it? Buendia's just not been showing the form yet, so I'll probably bench him. But, yeah, let's hopefully have a good Game Week 3 for my team. Make way for the King. Is that King Ken Sema, or is it Josh King? You will have to decide amongst yourselves. But this is not good. This is not good, people. Xisco Disco is a bit of a party pooper right now. We're 9th in the league, and it's because it's a head-to-head league. So we've basically been awful in our head-to-heads. We've not done well so far. So let's just forget about the past. Let's look at this game week. Schmeichel in goal, love it. You can't go wrong with that. Cresswell as well, very good attacking potential. And now Rico Henry, he's not shown anything yet, but I think he could get some attacking returns. He's playing in basically right midfield, so got to go for it. And Lewis Dunk as well. He's pretty good for some clean sheets. Trossard is a bit of a punt. I'm not confident with it. He'll probably have an absolute stinker, but, you know, he's quite a good attacker. Fornals as well has been showing some consistency. Buendia, meh. We'll see if he does well, but I don't know. Harrison against Burnley, you've got to back him. And Armstrong is an interesting one. I kind of think he's a decent option, especially against his former team, Newcastle. And Harry Kane, I hate to say it, but Kane is back. Like, Kane is Kane. So I fear for the worst, but let's see what happens. Bamford as well. Got to back him. Ritchie's on the bench. My other little punt, the new Stuart Dallas. He could be an out-of-position player that we all want. Because look what I said. I said bring him into your team. And what did he do? Game week 1 assist versus West Ham, playing in defence. It's an absolute bargain. But no, for draft, of course, there is no money involved. It's all just your own players and no captaincy. But Young as well could be a decent one with some more minutes. And Canos on the bench as well. So then moving on to our next team, which is actually not in a good way at all. And when I say this, I mean I'm bottom of the league. It's an absolute joke. Watford FC, the team for me, and it's not doing the bits, really. Pereira with mixed emotions. 12-point haul, and then a -1 point haul. I mean, what can you say about that? It's not exactly good. And then up front, some pretty dodgy stuff right here. And then the bench is all injured. So, yeah, we had to make some big moves, and we have done that. Sanchez in goal, as standard. Pereira, Laporte, Van Dijk, we're feeling confident about that. And we've got some differentials. Bergwijn, Harvey Barnes against Norwich, even though he's not in form. It's a good fixture. And then Damari Gray. Gotta think he's going to revolutionise his career at Everton. And then, of course, we've got Firmino, Target, and Duffy all bench warming. So not bad at all. Richarlison, he always scores against Brighton. Remember that. And finally, we have got our last draft team. And this one is the one, as I said, an FPL juicer. And this is the Juicers Draft League. And it's not too bad. Out of 7, I'm sitting in 4th. So it could be a lot worse, but it could be a lot better. I need to kind of get looking at 100 points. So it's going to be hard. But last week was a bit of a up and down thing, really. The front line, not too bad. But Grealish, what a legend. Jota again. And Soufal coming in clutch with the assist. So, yeah, Stones and Zinchenko is a bit of a frustrating one. But we move on to Game Week 3. And this is a little defensive setup. Now, you've got back the fixtures here. Brighton, Palace, Burnley, Newcastle. Come on, it's got to be done. And then in the midfield, Son is still doing bits. I hope he doesn't. But I think he's the biggest player to watch against Watford. And Dennis, you never know. He could do something in that game. He's that good. And there is the bench. So that is my team, and that is my FPL draft team, all locked in for Game Week 3. I hope you have enjoyed. I know it's been a long one. 45 minutes is not ideal, but it is what it is. It's the way it kind of worked, and I hope you really enjoyed it. It was an extensive analysis and preview and reaction into my FPL fortunes and FPL predictions going into Game Week 3. But that is where we're going to end the video. Smash a like on it, comment your score from Game Week 2, and comment what is your current rank going into this game week. The deadline when you'll be watching this would have passed, but fingers crossed everyone. Let's captain a little bit of Antonio, there he is, and let's hope the transfer of Jackie Boy Grealish does pay dividends. But thanks for watching, I'll see you next time, bye bye.